And our northeast counties are now expected to get some of the worst of this weather.
Yeah, that includes White County. They already announced they are going to be canceling school on Monday. Their public safety agency said that folks should prepare to shelter in place for 2 to 3 days at a minimum. So let's get out to Angelina Salcedo, who's out in White County. You just heard from the county's public safety leaders.
Yeah, so they actually just had the safety briefing here in White County. That would include all of the city managers, city officials, public safety officials, both county and city related, and then obviously the EOC director and deputy director as well. I will tell you guys and be quite frank, after they got this briefing from the National Weather Service, it was basically the very first time in 30 for one and 35 years for the other that they had seen something like this forecasted for this county. And that's exactly why they're a little bit fearful about what the impacts could look like here when we wake up tomorrow. Now, they ended up talking to the officials that are in here, basically telling them that they needed to be patient, but also that they have prepared for this as much as they could prepare for this. We're talking about 3/4 of an inch or an inch or more of ice that expected if it pans out that way. The director is saying that the effects from this will cripple the county for days. That's exactly why they have been telling people to prepare themselves for staying in their homes for a few days, given that we won't exactly know what this is going to look like. So here's what EOC officials are saying. Travel will likely become impossible tonight, carrying over into Monday. They want people to get into their place where they plan on staying at 3 p.m. starting today. Obviously, we are past that now. The reason why they say 3 p.m. is not necessarily because of the traffic, but because they want roads to be clear for public safety officials. I want you to hear from the deputy director himself.
We deal with tropical storms, so we understand trees falling, power grid loss. We get all of that. But if we get over a ½ inch of ice, we could be looking at damage that rivals a Category 2 or 3 hurricane. And it could be long-lasting for days. And then you throw the bitter cold temperatures in on top of it, we're looking at life-threatening conditions, I'm afraid.
You know, speaking to the deputy director himself, it actually brought tears to his eyes having to tell me that again after he spoke to all the officials that were here. We even have an official from GEMA here as well to make sure that they have all the resources that they need here in White County. The reason being is because in public safety, you want to be able to help everybody that you can. But in this scenario, depending on what things look like, there are going to be times where they're just not going to be able to get to people and they're not going to be able to respond right away. So they want people to brace themselves for any delays that they can anticipate here in White County. If this ice does stack up, they're not going to be able to get to people, despite the fact that they have those chains on the wheels of their cars and that type of thing. It's just, you just can't drive on ice. And so they're telling people to expect the delays. Obviously, they're hoping that people have prepared. People that live here up in the mountains are very accustomed to the winter weather here. They're accustomed to getting the snow, but ice is something that is completely different. And that's a little bit part of the reason why you heard that from the deputy director there, guys.
Yeah, Angelina, some tough words there, tough few days for folks in Helen and Cleveland coming up. Thank you so much for that information for folks in that area that could be life-saving.
Yeah,
for
it
sure.
could be life-saving, absolutely.